What's up, guys, and welcome back to this Lincoln FIFA career mode where I'm recording this after the fact because after I recorded this entire episode, which I think I recorded or tried to record 3 times and just kept getting interrupted, so I eventually recorded it to find out that I had recorded the entire audio stream on, I think, my internal microphone on my computer, which is absolutely trash compared to the one that I normally use, this bad boy that I'm speaking into now. So there's a lot of background, like sort of just echo and reverb, and I'm not really too happy with it. But I felt that it was probably worth just posting it anyway for the guys who want to keep up to date with the FIFA stuff. So yeah, here it is. It's not, the audio is absolutely horrendous, but you know, it is what it is. Hopefully next week I'll actually record with the proper microphone and actually have decent audio. So with that said, here's the video. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Lincoln, where we've made it to the January transfer window. Final day transfer deadline day, that's the one. Right, we've made it to transfer deadline day, and as you can see, there have been a few large transfers. So Willian Jose from Real Sociedad to Arsenal for 50 million. Not really sure much to say about that. As you can see here, Everton managed to sign Arturo Vidal for £32.4 million. How? I mean, he's like 32 now, but even still, that's like Everton. Really? Everton. Anyway, Umtiti moved to Juventus for 48.2 million, which is quite hefty. I think it's a pretty decent deal for Juventus. And Oxlade-Chamberlain has moved to PSG for 42.8 million, as if PSG didn't need another winger. So, yeah, that's a bit of an interesting one. We, as far as our transfer window went, we have made a few signings. We made a sale. We made a sale of our goalkeeper that we've been trying to sell for the last like umpteen months. We've been trying to get rid of him. Eventually, we actually got a couple of offers for him. So Arsenal originally came in with a 12 million offer, and then Everton bettered that with a 15 million pound offer. And I managed to also get a 10% sell-on clause on that as well. So yeah, we managed to get ourselves 15 million for I can't remember the name of the boy. But anyway, we've managed to get 15 million for a goalkeeper, and we've also got an extra 10%. So if he potentially gets sold again, which he's got really good potential, so it's quite likely he'll get sold at some point, we'll see an extra 10% of that as well, which could potentially be like 5 or 6 million, depending on how much he goes for, which would be very nice. And with that money, we've signed a couple of players. We signed Oriol Busquets, who was playing in the MLS. I think he was at Colorado. We signed him right at the start of the window, and so far he's been performing very well for us. He's played about 3 or 4 games, and he's already got himself a goal as well. So he's a DM, but he can play centre mid as well, and as you can see, his strength is his big point. He's got 81 strength and 76 stamina. He's also quite good on the ball. He's got 72 ball control, and his heading accuracy is pretty good, his marking's great, his shot accuracy is not bad, and his defensive skills are also pretty damn good. So yeah, pretty well impressed with this boy so far. I think he cost us about 6 million, 6.5 million, something like that. So quite a large amount of money for him. But ultimately, I think it was worth it to get somebody in that midfield holding position that can actually do a really solid job for us. Because Michael Bostwick, who's been around for ages, he's now 31. He's going to be getting starting to lose points shortly, and we may end up sort of maybe moving him on. And as our midfield sort of progresses, but if we lost him, and I think our only other player, defensive-minded player, is Woodyard as well. So he's also pretty good. He's only 27, so he's kind of in his prime. But I think if we want to progress this team, we needed a new defensive midfielder who's going to progress. He's going to get better, and we needed to find somebody who could do that. And I think this Oriol Busquets boy's got that in his locker. So yeah, I think our midfield's looking very solid now. We also signed this Bunial from, I believe, Osasuna in Spain. And good story to this, he's worth, I think, 6.5 million. My sporting director was saying that we could get the deal done for about 6.5 to 8 million pounds would be like an acceptable offer for him. But I managed to sign him for 3.5 million pounds. And the reason I signed him for 3.5 million pounds is because Osasuna, being absolutely moronic, had a £3.5 million buyout clause in his contract. So even though he's worth about 6.5, 7 million, I managed to sign him for 3.5. Also, he's only on about £4 grand a week, which when all the other sort of right backs I was looking at were around the like 20 to 30 grand a week mark because they're all at decent clubs, whereas he was still at about, I think, 2.8, 3 grand, I think he was on per week. So we've upped that a little bit. I think we're just above like 3, maybe 4 grand now. And we got him for 3.5 million. So as far as it goes financially, that boy was an absolute steal. I mean, I could turn around and sell him now and make a profit. It's ridiculous. And that's basically all we've done. We've only signed a couple of players. We sold Silveira, that's it, the goalkeeper, Silveira. But apart from that, nothing's really changed. We've signed a few players from our youth academy. Hopefully they might come along and do something impressive in the next few months. But there's nothing massively changed about our team. As for our left back, we actually have a pending offer. We've tried to sign a lad from Barcelona, who I believe in reality is still in Eredivisie, but at some point has moved to Barcelona in this career mode. And we have a loan agreement made with Barcelona, so we're just waiting on the player, that Tyrell Malakia. We're waiting on him agreeing terms, him and his agent. So hopefully they agree to the loan move and we get ourselves a nice new left back. I don't know his current potential, like his current rating, but I think he's is like looking at what his sort of estimated rating was. It looked like it could be pretty decent. So we'll hopefully catch him. But he is only on loan, so I'd quite like to try and sign him at the end of the season, but I'm not sure it'll give us the option, so we'll see what happens. But we do kind of need somebody in that left back position because we've got Loyola there currently, who has been serving us very well since the start of this career mode. I think he was one of the first players we bought, and he's been doing a very good job. But I think he's pretty much hit his max now. I don't think he's going to get much better. So we kind of need somebody like in that left back position that can push the team forward, get that rating up a little bit, and hopefully progress. And I think this lad will do that when we get him in. But we'll fire through the last few hours of transfer deadline day and see what actually happens, if we do actually sign this boy or not, and if anybody else goes for a ridiculous fee. Right, great. So he's actually accepted that loan deal. So we have got our man, Tyrell Malakia. So we'll stick him in our team, and well, actually, I'll have a look to see what rating he is first. Hopefully he's pretty decent. Where are we? 69. 69 rated, not too bad. Given that he's only, I think, 20, so yeah, 20 years old, he's definitely got the potential to get better. So hopefully by the end of the season he'll be tipping 70, 71 rated, and progressing on nicely. So that would kind of be in line with the rest of our team. I think the only Castro in goals kind of going a bit mad in his rating. The only player to be anywhere near the 80s. Everyone else is sort of mid-70s, so yeah, we've got a really good goalkeeper at the back, and that's kind of the reason I want to sell that Silveira boy, because I wanted this guy to come through, because he's pretty much got the same level of potential, and he's taller. He's 6'5", whereas that Silveira boy that we had previous was 5'11". So this guy definitely suits being a goalkeeper better than the last guy. So yeah, it looks like this lad. Look at that, 91 kicking, absolute beast. Could do with getting his position and his handling up a little bit, but yeah, we're looking pretty good with our goalkeeper. So we'll fire through the remaining hours now and see. We've pretty much finished our business, so we'll see what everybody else does. Right, so we have reached the end of transfer deadline day. Nothing massive seems to have happened. We got a transfer offer for Palmer Brown right at the very end of the window, which, well, that was never going to go through, was it? You put in an offer with about an hour left. But anyway, we have some pretty decent looking players in our youth squad who could potentially come through the next season or so. If they hit their potential, it'd be very nice. Got some there that are potentially up into the mid-90s, which would be absolutely amazing. And we've still got this boy, Thomas Nunes, who's been sitting at 15 years old for months. Absolutely months. We've been waiting on him turning 16 so we can actually sign him to our first team, and he just refuses to turn to 16, so we're just waiting for this lad. So hopefully he should do it in the next few months, and we'll be able to sign him straight into our first team. It'd be quite good to get him playing, because he's been sitting in that youth team with that level of potential for months, and we've just had to sit there and look at it, be taunted by it, and not actually be able to use him. So hopefully he's hopefully he will have his birthday soon and be possibly able to play for us, which would be very nice. But yeah, that is the squad. That is transfer deadline day. I'll have a quick look, see if there was actually something that went through that we missed. These are the top transfers so far, and as you can see, some of them actually we kind of missed them because they were done out of transfer windows. So this deal for Nicolas Sewell from Bayern to PSG for £75 million, second biggest deal so far in this career mode, and that happened in September, end of September, which meant that we kind of like missed the whole deal. So PSG had the deal accepted and done in September, but then obviously they couldn't actually sign the player until the 1st January. So in the 1st January, that's when he would have actually moved. But that deal kind of like slipped under the radar because we never actually really covered that. Also the same with Baldi Diao from Monaco to Manchester United for £73.4 million. That happened in mid-December. So that was another deal that was done prior to the transfer window opening, and so was that one. Florian Thauvin from Marseille, that happened again mid-September. So yeah, £63.5 million for Thauvin. That's a lot of money for a lad who got relegated with Newcastle. But yeah, Man United there spending £150 million on two players, almost like £125 million on two players, both wingers, and we know that Man United have the best history when it comes to signing wingers, don't we? But yeah, there's quite a lot of interesting deals kind of went through. Alright, so Diego Costa did eventually move to Atletico Madrid for £45.9 million. Now, that's interesting because when I started this career mode, he was still a Chelsea player, and the whole Atletico Madrid thing hadn't actually started yet, so he was just a Chelsea player straight up. So eventually, about 2 seasons later, he did actually ultimately rejoin Atletico Madrid for £45 million. Alright, so Sergio Roberto has somehow moved from Barcelona to Bayern Munich, and then from Bayern Munich back to Barcelona for £36.3 million. All in the space of 3 seasons. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I just noticed actually, Crystal Palace signed Bernard for £30.6 million. Decent midfielder player, like plenty of potential. And they also signed Alan Halilovic from Hamburg, of all places. Not sure how he ended up at Hamburg. But they signed him for £35.8 million. He's only 23, and they're both cams. Both got really decent like ability. So not sure what the deal is there, but now Crystal Palace have 2 amazing attacking midfielders, both for about 30 odd million. Anyway, that shall wrap up the transfer deadline day of January 2020. 20. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to wrap it up. So if you've enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well if you're new around here. That would be absolutely amazing. And I'll catch you guys next week. So until then, cheerio.